Okay folks, this will be an interesting one. It's really small. Technically it's classified as a clothing item, even though it's not. It's not able to be, you could say. Okay, let's see what this item is. It is a piece of, trying to get close to it folks, I'm trying to focus it. It's not easy to focus this. It's a piece of ribbon, some kind of ribbon, piece of which we're going to utilise as a demo piece. So we're just going to line it up like so. I'm going to leave the dock feeder open. Whoa, that looks interesting. It looks very dark, extremely dark. I'm going to just make it a straight across piece, and we're going to make this into perhaps a movement piece. So I'm just going to get this blank sheet of paper behind it, because the black obviously doesn't work for this. Yeah, that looks really nice actually. I can see a nice meshy grid pattern. That looks really good. It's pleasing. I think we can use that. Make that into a movement piece. So we'll just remove the original. Throw it away. We might as well fill the page with this grid. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just enlarge, maybe up to 200% for this. And we're going to just slip and slide it. Yeah, that looks really quite interesting. Already we get some colours breaking up nicely. Maybe we could still lighten it a bit. I'm going to use this now. Going to now just put it to 100. yeah, that looks really nice. The colours in that, in the shapes are starting to take on a nice appearance. Maybe we could take this section here, or maybe this section, and enlarge it big, and make it into something. So we're just going to maybe set it to 400 to start with, and see how we go. If we can find where to put this piece on the glass, which is really a hassle, really challenging, folks. To be honest, it's challenging trying to find the sweet spot on the artwork. So it's upside down, if I remember correctly. And that looks interesting, but it's not where we're wanting to go. We fucked it up. Just have to fucking sort of find where that piece of work is. So just going to maybe put it up there. Maybe slide it up. It's exhausting. Finding the sweet spot is always a challenge, folks. Most of the time. This time it's really challenging, really difficult to find where the sweet spot is to my work. I'm going to maybe move it across. And that looks really quite nice, even though it's not quite what I'm after. So we're just going to slide it right across and maybe down a bit. I'm relying on intuition to help me, folks, to help me get this looking good instead of shit. But it's really hard, folks. It really is a challenge. Even when you've got intuition on your side, it really can be difficult. And we've made this piece look shit house. We don't want that piece of void in our work. But 400% is the maximum enlargement. I do think maybe we could push it up a little. I do think we shouldn't have pulled it down, if I'm correct, that it should go up, not down. Not down in the dumps like depression and anxiety, which I suffer from because I'm missing a partner. I'm trying to get in touch with my partner Luigi through the 6 o'clock news while I'm doing these photocopier demos, and I'm trying to get recognised as an artist as well. So I don't have to rely on Centrelink to live off. So I can function happily without being alone. Because it really is lonely without my partner Luigi. It really hurts to be separated like I have been. And I'm trying my best to make my stuff shine. And it's not an easy task, folks, in more ways than one. I have to get past the traditional news articles that the TV channels typically air, like death, disease, disaster, destruction. Then you've got like homicides, or should I say murder, suicide, house fires, car crashes. What else is there? Car crashes, shark attacks, which is really cheesy but still a popular article to air anyway. So you just get the feeling that your work is falling on deaf ears. My work's falling on deaf ears, should I say. Because this stuff has never been aired before, I don't think. this kind of work that I'm doing is different, and it's different to all the other news. I'm going to maybe move it across a little bit, maybe shut just a fraction. I actually think maybe I should just take this section and expand it, because I don't like this really namby-pamby looking bit. And we're at 400, which is the maximum magnification ratio. So we're just going to maybe slide it across a little bit, just a fraction. And it is hard to compete with the establishment because they like to typically play it safe by playing these old-fashioned sounding news articles that really, to me, just sound really in the essence. It's cheesy. It's a bit cheesy for my liking. It's too cheesy, and yet they still like to air it nonetheless. And that's the problem I have, is this insistence on airing stuff that might be considered by someone like myself as cheesy, but to the news channels it's still a treasure. It's still like gold or silver or platinum. They seem to think that this stuff is the best, and it's the only way to get ratings, which is what they need to make money, to keep the TV channel as a business operative. So, you know, you've got to they basically just don't know any other way of doing their business. So they air all this shitty stuff that really has no creativity or any interestingness to it. But they tend to just want to just make shit, and they don't seem to care that they don't seem to care that someone's life is riding on this. You know, they might pretend to care about people who are victims of some potentially life-threatening crime like murder, but yet they don't show any interest in someone like myself who's trying to get in touch with a lost loved one, and I'm going to die of a broken heart, folks, if I left on the shelf much longer. So this looks really quite interesting, I actually think. I think we've got it pretty well just right. Sorry about the shaking, folks. I do hope it doesn't interfere with the quality of my work, because I've got new software running this phone. 2 new software updates last night to my Samsung phone, and basically you just don't know how these updates are going to go until you've actually used it. So things are a little bit different already. Yeah, it just blurred out a bit. I hate it when it does that. I just hope I don't get too many blur outs on this camera because of this new software. Yeah, okay, that's come up looking quite interesting. I do think it looks a bit too vertical. It would have been nice if it was a little bit narrower, but it looks interesting. Looks like lips, perhaps. I think we can now call it quits.